Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Regit, and welcome back to, again, the zombie cyclone returns thing. I didn't realise or even think that we would be this long on it, or that I would have the staying power to carry on a level like this for as long as we have. But we have, and there is good reason for it. Each time there has been some sort of glimpse of hope and light that the level might be possible, and each time I've kind of got closer than I expected I would, which has meant that I'm sort of feeling like, okay, yeah, I can move on with this, keep going until I eventually do manage to get this done, because ultimately, the true forms of something like Waitress Cat sounds like a very appealing prospect to be trying to get, even if the level is a difficult one. So, after the last episode, I guess you could say, I was glad to see that people weren't remarking that I'd done anything especially wrong trying to get the CPU ready. More that the CPU just probably isn't a viable concept. So it seems like my economy measures worked, and I was very glad for that, but ultimately the CPU isn't gonna work, and so I'm gonna be doing it without the CPU, or trying to, for this first attempt at least. I will put these two items on and show you the slot, because this is now an amalgam of some other comments that have been made, and partly my own idea, which may or may not work. So people suggested, I think, a decrease in the number of meat shields. I think Lucas suggested about 4 would be alright. Some people suggested 3. I thought that was a bit risque, so I've gone with 4. We've still got our Kitty of Liberty. Overwhelmingly, people suggested put in Housewife Cat, and I thought, sensible. I probably saw that in the first video but forgot to do it in the second video. And then somebody said Lancer is a non-problematic, non-long distance barrier breaker who can deal with the Ultra Barbars without the problem of missing them per se. So we got him, as well as Air, who's just generally quite good. And for zombies, which I've been advised not to knock back because of Le Solar and the Kitty of Liberties, I've put in Nerve Moon. This is the sort of thing that sits at range and slows zombies, and that's exactly what we need. Hopefully the range will be good enough. I'm not going to look it up. We'll have the element of surprise, and the amount of expensive units means that it would be ridiculous to put a CPU on. It's never going to work out with that. So I'm going to try this, the non-knockbacky version of the Strat, into the battle. We go. I'm going to practice the same kind of economy techniques as I did before, because they worked well for us. So it'll be a Kitty of Liberty and a Manic Mohawk, and then just Manic Mohawks as soon as I can spam them from then on in. So the zombie cyclone's getting really close now, so it's time to start spamming some other stuff. Nerve Moon and Housewife Cat, and then we'll use Kitties of Liberty for now, and then save up for Lancer here. I know he's only level 1, but we only need him for barrier break. I mean, level 1 might have been a ridiculous idea, but we'll just have to see. It's more about a trait than actual levels, and we've got our normal cannon on. Don't know if that would be best, but we have slowed the zombie cyclone, so that's good so far. Bit of a, oh dear, wow, amazing. The moment I go to say, bit of a proof of concept, both of the Ubers die. Both of them, at exactly the same time as I am saying that. Not a good start. I mean, to be fair, part of the Lance being level 1 thing was just because I purely forgot to upgrade him. So let's upgrade him, then there'll be no excuses. He's Lance's CC, he's got colours and blue hair, and that means it's inexcusable for him to fail. My problem seems to have been that in these sort of stages after the first bit where I've economised rather well, I then kind of don't have a clue what I'm actually supposed to be doing. So we're going to get Lancer out here. And then, nicely in the back, I think would be good to put Nerve Moon so that it just stays there and doesn't cause itself any trouble. For some reason, this second meat shield does not want to come out, whereas the other ones are completely fine. I'm going to try and meat shield all by myself, which is a problem within itself. And that was Lancer getting outranged by something. I don't know what it was, but it got a big old boof and a big old oof, and it went back. But that was a good attack from Lancer, so maybe we're going to find it dying off. Oh, I think that might be Le Solar, actually, causing that trouble from a back there. The first time that it causes us issues is a time in which I have absolutely no idea how to deal with them. And then that's it. I mean, come on. Seriously, if you're going to be a no continue stage, which I disagree with the concept of entirely anyway, you got to give me time to actually work out what is going wrong. And I'm not getting that. I do not understand. But whatever it is, clearly, as much as people might say it doesn't work, this doesn't work either. I'm going back to the CPU. I'm beginning to think that it's really ironic that the changes I've made when told knockback would give us a problem with Le Solar then causes me for the first time to have a problem with Le Solar. I mean, maybe I'm getting my causality the wrong way round here, but it definitely seems as if the protection measures have introduced the problem. Another thing that got suggested, rather interestingly, is to start using talents for the first time on Enchantress Cat, because we can get it to target zombie. There's going to be a nice cheap unit, and as we're going back to CPU, for obvious reasons, I'd hope you'd agree, it's going to be useful to have cheap units. So let's unlock this. Not often have I done it. It now targets zombies. A little outline to show that it's talented. That is some nice formatting, and hopefully a good decision. To make it a bit more CPU friendly, I have replaced Mohawk Cat into the strat to have our 5 meat shields and got rid of air. I mean, air's always been very good, so I'll probably get told that's a bad idea, but then there's always conflicting advice, and maybe we can swap them between air and Lancer if we see that one clearly isn't working. But now we got 3 cheaper units that will serve to both slow zombies and break barriers, and then Meg Aphrodite, hopefully I can put her to a bit better use in killing Le Solar. It pains me again to see these items spent, how many I've rifled through this episode without any form of success. Well, let's start the level the same way and try and do the same start, which has always been alright for us, but then make it progress into something better. Right, now I think I need to start thinking about the other stuff I'm putting out rather than leaving it till ages later and wondering what on earth I'm supposed to be doing. But I'm still not absolutely sure what sort of things I'm supposed to be putting out first. Maybe I should just try to bring in out enough monies so that I can just get everything spammed, perhaps. And yeah, that actually looks like that might have worked. We just about got to the point where we had enough monies for that to happen, and now it is in the CPU's hands, hopefully to a better extent. And there is the zombie slowing from the Enchantress Cat. Fantastic, that's a good start. We got a little bit of knockback there. That was a damage knockback, definitely. This seems to be going a lot better. In the CPU I trust. I mean, look at that. Clearly so much better than when I'm doing it myself, and hopefully they can keep up this trend and make this work. Amazing! The moment I say that, to go to a jump cut, everything starts dying. Do you have no sense of irony, you scumbags? This is ridiculous. I can't even structure a video without you ruining it. Okay, final attempt then, because I'm getting a little bit tired of this, to be honest. It's really not going too well, and I think we're starting to reach that point where things go downhill and we might never get back up that hill. I have this time put air in, as I suggested, as an alternative to Lancer, because, I mean, the strat, to all intents and purposes, should have worked. It just didn't. Wham bam. I mean, at least I can do this part of the battle, I guess. With a view to getting as many monies as possible then, I am just going to keep doing Manic Mohawks here. And then when we reach, I don't know, about 12,000 monies, so about there, that is when I will put the CPU on and start getting it to work stuff out. Hopefully now, the CPU doesn't fail me, because I've failed me. The CPU's failed me, but I have more trust in the CPU to not fail me eventually than me continually failing me. Oh, that might be a root of the issue. Flipping thing not spamming things, because of course I thought it would be able to retain monies quite well, but it isn't doing so. Right, well, I'm going to turn you off for a little bit then and just spam these meat shields while we recover some of the monies. We got a perfectly good stack of these Enchantress Cats going, so let's keep it that way. Might have made air miss its shot there, silly old me. But just going to keep meat shielding, and then when we have loads of monies again, I will let the CPU do its thing. Possibly roughly like that, and then for a little bit it can keep spamming until it reaches a point where it gives up again. Then I'll have to take over. Maybe the moral of this story is that it requires a little bit of teamwork. Always seems to be Gato Amigo resisting being spammed. Weird. And you know what's not weird and has become quite usual? Our loss. I mean, this is just really demoralising, genuinely. I think we've learned here that nothing actually works. Of course, I'm grateful for people trying to help, but clearly doing it myself doesn't work. Doing it with the CPU doesn't work, mostly because of not having treasures. But I really thought that we'd actually be able to succeed in doing this. So we might have to leave that be and just come back to it eventually when I've completed Cats of the Cosmos 3. And if we end on a little rhyme there, that can be our little glimpse of light that perhaps the level will not give us. I would like to finish by suggesting that not putting a video out purely because I didn't win in it is not a suggestion that I think should be given any credibility, because work's been put into the video, and I hope that you still appreciate a video being made for you, even if I just happen not to have won in it, because I can try my best, but to be fair, the winning is not something that's actually fully within my control. 3 combined loads of failures is probably enough to tell us that it's not going to work, so I think we'll leave it there and leave it for a good while yet. And so I will see you in another context at another time. I shall bid you goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed.